Coruscant has been the home of the Jedi Order for generations of time. They have been on this world for thousands of years, and they only ceased when Order 66 purged all of them out. Afterwards, the Jedi Temple was converted into the Imperial Palace at Palpatine's request. Though the temple stood as a beacon of authority since the days of the Old Republic, we still know of one time when the Jedi Temple fell, and the Jedi had to relocate off of Coruscant for the time being, retreating in humiliating defeat. The event we speak of went down in galactic history as the sacking of Coruscant, which is the event that we got to see in the Old Republic cinematic titled Deceived when Darth Malgus stormed the temple. In this epic trailer, we watch one of Darth Malgus' greatest military triumphs as he marches right through the doors of the temple and wages war with them right at their very heart. The next time we see the Jedi Order, they have established headquarters on their ancient homeworld of Tython and are operating out of Tython once the Great Galactic War resumes. So, what exactly happened? What caused the sacking of Coruscant to even take place? And how did the Jedi find their homeworld after it had been lost to time? How did the Jedi rediscover Tython? Well, my friends, today we are going to open up yet another holocron and explore this historic event altogether, analyzing one of the Jedi Order's greatest defeats. The sacking of Coruscant all starts with the Treaty of Alderaan, as the Great Galactic War raged on between the Republic and the reconstituted Sith Empire. The Republic had recovered from its initial surprise, and under the lead of the Jedi Knight Satele Shan, they were now able to fight back and gain back some lost ground against the Sith. The war reached a critical point as the Sith Empire had gained almost an entire third of the galaxy from the Republic, a massive victory. Soon after the Battle of Alderaan, the Sith Empire sent word to the Republic and expressed interest in ending the war, proposing a peace treaty. The Republic agreed and sent a team of Jedi diplomats, with the current Grand Master of the Jedi and Satele Shan included in the group, all venturing to Alderaan to sign the treaty. In reality, the peace treaty was somewhat of a farce, and more so, a ceasefire for the time being than actual peace. While the negotiations were happening, the Sith launched a surprise attack directly on the heart of the Republic, and thus resulted in the sacking of Coruscant. The Sith sent a transmission to Alderaan showing them holding the Supreme Chancellor as a hostage. Despite Satele Shan's protests, the Jedi hands were bound, and they were forced to sign the treaty since Coruscant was under the hold of the Sith. Though the Sith at least held true to their word and left Coruscant when the treaty was signed, the damage had been done, and Malgus made sure that he razed the Jedi Temple before they departed. The Sith Empire had basically won this part of the Great Galactic War, and a third of the galaxy had been annexed from the Republic and was now under control of the Empire. This began the 11-year geopolitical dispute which became known as the Cold War, as the Republic tried to navigate around reclaiming some of their lost territory diplomatically. As for the Jedi, their humiliation was complete, and they were forced to relocate back to their stronghold world of Dantooine. Word soon arrived from the Galactic Senate that they would not be financing the reconstruction of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant due to tax credits going towards the reconstruction projects of Coruscant and other worlds. This, understandably, enraged Satele Shan, as she embarked on a journey where she cleared up most conflicts on Dantooine and Kashyyyk while collecting allies. During this time, Satele spent many hours and days in deep meditation. Her work would prove to be fruitful, as the Force revealed to her the hidden hyperspace route that led to the lost world of Tython. This discovery was huge, as the world had now been lost for nearly 17,000 years. The news buzzed throughout the Jedi Order, and was the talk of the temple, finally, a light in the darkness with this good news. However, it would be within this good news that bad news came, and that's when we learned that the Jedi Temple would not be constructed on Coruscant. In response to both of these events, the Jedi made the decision to relocate their entire operation back to their ancestral homeworld of Tython. For her discovery, Satele was appointed the rank of Master, and was even given a seat on the Jedi High Council. During the years that the Jedi spent on the planet rebuilding and regrouping, Satele would eventually work her way up to the rank of Grand Master, which is where we see her when the Great Galactic War resumes. As a side note, we are currently writing and producing a video all about why Satele is way more powerful than you realize, so stay tuned for that holocron. After the 11-year Cold War was over, conflict quickly resumed as tensions between the Republic and the Sith Empire had grown stronger in light of a ceasefire. There had been much conflict during the Cold War despite the treaty, and it finally broke when the Sith led an attack on Tython itself. Even though the assault was being repelled, the surface of Tython was left in near ruin, and parts of the world became tainted with the dark side. The Sith had struck at the Jedi heart yet again. The Jedi Order would be scattered to various corners of the galaxy by the war, and it wouldn't be until the Task Force Nova regrouped the Jedi Order would they choose to settle down somewhere else. Tython, unfortunately, fell back into obscurity after the Great Galactic War, and the Dark Lord of the Sith, Belia Darzu, would actually build her research facility on the world, further saturating the Jedi's homeworld to the dark side. A massive defeat. Unfortunately, the Jedi would never attempt to return to Tython, and the world was largely forgotten by the galaxy and to time. In my opinion, a very disappointing and undignified legacy for the ancient home of the Jedi Order. Of course, over time, the Jedi and the Republic would eventually join forces and repel the Sith back to the unknown regions. However, this would take many years and much conflict and death. We wanted to highlight this holocron and this massive defeat at the feet of the Jedi to prove that although most times the Republic and the Jedi absolutely dominate the Sith in wartime, that the Sith Empire was actually formidable in its own right. Ironically, the signing of the peace treaty was also the event that led Darth Malgus to become disillusioned with the Dark Sith Council, and eventually depart this iteration of the Sith altogether. So we wanted to highlight this massive event and battle in Star Wars history that not many fans ever speak about. And now, my friends, I hope you can go back and watch the Deceived trailer with brand new light, as this truly represents an event almost as bad as Order 66, although not quite. An event that led to the rediscovery of the ancient homeworld of Tython and its eventual tragic destruction. But anyway, my friends, this was an account from the Jedi's first banishment of Coruscant, and I hope you enjoyed this holocron, and if you like videos detailing these events in galactic history, be sure to comment down below any other event you would want to see covered. Before you go, there is a big sale on the Star Wars merch page, where you can get essentially everything half off. And if you use code WAVE at checkout, you'll get an additional 15% off your entire order, meaning essentially everything on the website is 65% off. Anyway, my friends, and curious acolytes of the Force, thank you as always so much for watching and supporting the channel. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.